What an incredible year we are closing. When we met at the end of the last year, none of us here or anywhere else imagined that 2022 would bring back war in Europe. Yet here we are, grappling with the consequences of a war that is destroying a European democratic country, but also destroying the confidence in stability in our own democratic countries, threatened by repercussions that range from inflation to shocking energy prices. Our thoughts tonight are first and foremost with the hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian families, for whom the worst Christmas since World War II will mean loneliness rather than community, darkness rather than lights, fear rather than celebration. Let us pray for them each time we gather with friends and family under the lights of the New Year's tree in our cities and our homes. We will think and pray for them while knowing that thoughts and prayers are not enough. Our nations and governments know that for the Ukrainians, actions are more needed than words. That is why, since the first day of the Russian aggression, we try to support their cause for freedom and to ease the terrifying pain inflicted by the 294 days of a war. Albania will stand with Ukraine all the way. We are honored and humbled to have been given the privilege to support, as non-permanent Security Council member state, the just cause of the state of Ukraine. Who could have imagined until a few years ago that Albania would be sitting up there with very few others to debate the most important United Nations issues? Who could have thought that Albania would be the first country chosen to host the first ever EU summit out of the European Union borders? Both would have been considered wild fantasies, the product of an excessively adventurous, dare I say, artistic mind. Yet both are real. Albania's voice at the Security Council table has been heard since the year started. Albania's hosting of an EU summit made headlines as the year was approaching the end. And guess what? We are here to celebrate another special anniversary. Albania was accepted as a member of the United Nations precisely on this day, on the 14th of December, but the year was 1955. What an incredible year for our foreign relations this 2022. And while we are on the topic of propitious occurrences, let us not forget the start of accession talks with the European Union. This is another crucial date marked on our calendars. But to me, what makes it stand out is not simply its significance for our foreign relations. More than the relations of Albania with Europe, this is about the relations of Albanians with their own future. Thanks to this major achievement, Albania is nearer to the future than it was at the beginning of this year. The ghosts of our past are further behind us than they were when the year started. But rather than haunting spirits that terrify us, they are starting to look like witnesses of history. They are there for us to learn without being afraid. Nobody can question the significance of Albania's international scene stance, and nobody can question Albania's role to protect this tormented region from its own bad habit to produce more history that it can digest. We are proud and happy to have been asked by our big friend and partner Germany to host next spring the Berlin Process Summit. We see it as an expression of appreciation and respect for what Albania is continuously doing to actively promote regional cooperation, peace and dialogue, closer ties with its Western Balkan neighbors, interactions between people and businesses from all our countries. We'll do our best to be up to the task and host a memorable Berlin Process Summit, as we hosted an EU summit that left a positive mark on all those who came to Tirana to take part in it: leaders, staffers, EU personnel, journalists, security people. I know, we all know, it's not a good end of the year for the normalization process between Kosovo and Serbia. Raising tensions in the north of Kosovo are not only unhelpful, they are deeply concerning. It is incredible that we have to continuously deal with the appearance of barricades, the regress of the normalization process, and teams of US, EU firefighters running to rescue the machinery of dialogue from the flames of an aggravated political rhetoric. Most recently, we even heard of requests made to NATO to send Serbian troops in northern Kosovo for the protection of ethnic Serbs. I understand that this might be just another cherry bomb firework of political rhetoric, but this is as surreal as if Kosovo asked NATO to send Albanian troops in South Serbia for the protection of ethnic Albanians. All this is too far from what is needed. We have entered the third decade since Kosovo was freed forever from Belgrade. It will never again be under Belgrade's rule. What's needed are only three things: dialogue, dialogue, dialogue. The rest is just bad politics. I know too well that this is easier said than done, but every shortcut taken from a difficult, even painful dialogue between Serbia and Kosovo will bring not just both of them, but all our region in a very dangerous place. We did not choose to live in this troubled neighborhood of Europe called Balkan. And even if we could, we would have immediately replaced each other with other neighbors. But first, there is no other place in this planet to transfer our country. And second, each and every one of our neighbors are here to stay. So we had better learn, and learn fast, to live with each other, work with each other, help each other. And we had better understand, without losing more decades, that we should do so, because this is the best we can do to serve our very own self-interest. We need to keep the Russian war plague out of this region. And while we will always stand firm with the Republic of Kosovo every time that its sovereign right to be ruled by its own authorities is questioned in whatever form, we also have no doubt that building bridges of cooperation with Serbia is not only a right thing to do, but it is something that serves our interests as country and as nation as well, and that promotes peace in a region where the ghosts of the past are always ready to wage war to our shared future. 2022 was an incredible year also because it surprised us. Unfortunately, in a very bad way, with a war that came not only after the pandemic, which was a shared misfortune, but also after an earthquake that was our own special curse. There we were, illuding ourselves that we couldn't see worse. But voila, we had 2022 with its inflation and its crazy energy price pressure on every household and every business. I think we have been resilient so far and made sure to avoid that energy bills for every Albanian family and small business did not serve Vladimir Putin's goal to put all the nations west of Russia on their knees. Energy prices remain the same, even for your rich countries' embassies. Impossible to do the same with inflation, but still we kept it at the lowest in our region. It is important to never forget that Ukraine is not the whole purpose of Putin's war, but just the visibly set target, while his purpose is to oblige the Euro-Atlantic community to sit with him and negotiate the security architecture of Europe. So far, he's not winning in Ukraine, and he's not succeeding in Europe, but it would be at least naive to believe that 2023 might be easier than 2022 in this regard. On the contrary, it might be harder and even much harder. As if all the burden of the crisis caused by the Russian aggression towards Ukraine and our economies wasn't enough, Albania suffered also a viciously harsh cyber attack from the Islamic Republic of Iran. Thanks to the fact that we had a certain level of preparedness, and thanks first and foremost to our American friends who came and fought with us in the trench for weeks, that attack did not succeed in its horrendous goal to fully destroy our digital infrastructure and wipe out all our digital data. It doesn't give me any pleasure to not have welcomed here tonight the Iranian ambassador. He was with us last year when we had the same gathering of the end of the year, and severing our diplomatic ties with Iran was not a decision we took lightheartedly. Iran is a great nation with a great culture, and I want to salute here tonight with full admiration the courage that Iranian girls and women are showing the world by fighting to bring the sunlight back on their faces, taken hostage by an age of darkness. I very much wish that sooner rather than later, in one way or the other, we'll start rebuilding the broken bridge between our two countries. In the meantime, we cannot but enjoy the fact that our bridges with the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Azerbaijan got much stronger this year. And I want to thank wholeheartedly the leaders of these countries who have not only offered me generously their special friendship, but have manifested, not just in words, but with deeds, their genuine interests to bring their country's relation with Albania to another level. I'm more than confident that the majestic Durrës Marina is just the very first concrete step in a range of several great plans we are working on together in the fields of energy, tourism, and trade. Another ambassador was with us last year, a great friend of this country, representing our destination, the European Union. Our good friend, Luigi, could not be replaced tonight by his dedicated successor, Christian, due to temporary health impediment. I wish her a speedy recovery, but she can rest and needs not to worry, since the health of our relationship with the EU has never been better. Dear friends, there's nothing better than celebrating friendship. It is heartwarming to realize that Albania's friendship have grown stronger, but equally difficult to give to numerous friends here, present here, the space they deserve in a celebrating speech like this one. I very much hope that you will not be upset if I don't praise all of your great friendly countries one by one. Not because I don't want to, and to say how much we appreciate our friendship, but simply because I don't want you to fall asleep without eating. So let me thank you all for your work and wish you all a great 2023 with less concerns and more celebration than the current one. And may God bless you, your families, your countries, and by no doubt, your love for Albania. Cheers. Gazur. And let the music and the dance and the eat and the drink begin.